Samir, tell us something about your hobbies.
Sir, as I mentioned, I love playing and watching badminton.
Badminton is your hobby?
Yes, sir.
You love to play, you love to watch?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What are the dimensions of a badminton court?
Sir, it's 44 feet long. For doubles, it's 20 feet long. 1.5 feet of boxes on both ends. That cuts down to 3 feet, and that's 17 feet for the single. 17. The length does not change. 44.
It's standard.
Yes, sir.
Across the board.
Yes, yes, yes.
What is the height of the net?
So height of the net, again at the center it's 5 feet. On the pole it is 5'1". Because of the tension, it comes down. So they ensure that at the center it's 5 feet.
Which is the highest governing body of the sport?
So that's Badminton World Federation, BWF.
BWF. Right. You sure about this?
Yes.
Who do you like more, Saina Nehwal or PV Sindhu?
That's
you are a player. I mean, you're not like me. You do not give me stats. Talk about them.
Okay. So it might surprise you, but I have personal preference of for Sindhu here. Though you might have,
I think their career record does
yes,
not.
yes,
Huh?
that is what I was coming to.
Okay.
It's actually 3-1. So Saina Nehwal has beaten PV Sindhu 3-1. And even the Commonwealth gold she had beaten her. But I'm not just talking from the point of view she is the only, say, Olympic medalist in the badminton for us. But her game is constantly improving. That is what I like about PV Sindhu. She works on her weak point. If you look at her game 3 years back to now, it has improved significantly. And I see that even under Coach Pulela Gopichan, she is constantly improving. That encourages me when I look at her game. And she has good stamina. She has good net game. She has a powerful smash.
You can clearly see that she's your favorite player.
Yes,
if she's a favorite player, you must answer this. She recently won a major tournament. What was that?
Incidentally, that was BWF championship only.
Okay. Right. So this is. I'm not at all exhausted. I mean, in the sense that I could have asked 100 questions on badminton. That's just to give you an example that when you're mentioning something as a hobby, you have to prepare it in and out completely in the sense, कुछ भी पूछता, I would have answered. कुछ भी. India का number 1, world का number 1.
Yeah, I said just she was silver, she was I think bronze, right?
He's a dummy candidate, so he does not know. You need to know.
You need to know, yeah.
So prepare it in and out. Dekho, these are easy questions to handle. If something comes from an unknown area that you cannot predict, they'll be very tough to handle. If the question is from a hobby, don't say, sir, ये कैसे relevant है banking के लिए? Banking से relevant नहीं है. I keep saying this again and again and again. It is relevant for you as a person. So how committed, how dedicated you are to things that you do, be it your education or your hobbies or whatever else you do, shows a lot about you as a person. And that is the reason why they check you on stuff. They cannot give you a shuttlecock and racket and say, खेल के दिखाओ. They cannot do that, right? So
why?
How would they check?
Why, sir, ask dimension? Some of you are asking because I said I like playing, right? I did not say I just like watching. Even then I should have, but I showed a keen interest when I said I love playing and watching. So if I play, I don't know the court dimension. Does that not look silly?
I mean, you might still argue that, sir, for playing, I have always got a ready-made code. I never did that myself. So how would I know? I mean, you can say that about so many things. Why do you need to know that India's got a tricolor as its national flag? How does it make a difference to you? Would it ever stop you from doing anything? No. कैसे आपको पता चलता है? If you do not know the name of a vice president or president, does that make a difference to your lives? I do not think it makes a difference. Think about it. Would a restaurant deny you entry because you do not know the name of your vice president? No. Why? Why is that important then? Yeah, basic चीजें हैं. Badminton is your sport. If that is your sport, you need to know stuff about it. They cannot check your competence or your level of passion in badminton by giving you a racket and a shuttlecock over there. No, they will not do that. How would they check then? By asking you questions. So if they ask you questions which you think are not important, it's good for you. If you can predict those questions, prepare them beforehand, surprise them. इससे तो सब कुछ आता है. कुछ गंदा पूछते हैं, नेट की हाइट पूछ ली. Who does नेट की हाइट? स्टैंडर्ड होता है, जो भी होता है, इतना होता है. कितना होगा? 5 फुट टाइप्स. But you need to know that it's exactly 5.1 on the poles and 5 in between because it is your hobby. I hope this is understood. And you like it or not like it or hate it or absolutely detest it. It does not make a difference. They ask questions like this, and this is it. That is all what makes that is important here. They ask you questions on this. You might keep saying irrelevant. You might keep saying.
They can ask you how many feathers are there in shuttlecock. So don't be surprised. So when you are telling something is your hobby, they are not seeing, they are seeing how passionate you are about it. The more passion you show in one field, it is likely to, also they are not silos. If I am passionate about my hobbies, I'll be passionate about my work also. That's how generally normal human beings have their thing, and that's what they are trying to check. How passionate this guy is. Sab cheez mein dhila hai, or does he have that spark to come and do something good when he comes to the bank? Will he show the same spark which he has for his hobby? If we give him proper environment. So that is the reason for asking these questions. They are not irrelevant. Please try to understand that. But okay, let's get to your hobbies. You said you were interested in sports, right?
Yes, sir. I in fact gave it a lot of my time. I'll not say I wasted, but yes, I give it a lot of my time.
Okay. So if it was cricket, let's. I think India has just won a test match. Let's see your knowledge about some test cricket. So who has the highest test average?
So that is simple. That is Sir Donald Bradman, 99.94 in test matches.
Okay, great. Yeah. But are you sure that's the highest test average?
Yes, sir. That is the highest test average. If we look at people who played more than 20 test matches, 20 or more than 20 test matches. So Don played 52 test matches, 80 innings, 10 not outs, 6,996 runs. That's the highest. But yes, there is a person called Andrew Gantium from West Indies who played just one test match in 1940s, and he scored 112 runs. Yes. So his average statistically is the highest in test cricket, but since he played just one match, that's irrelevant. But yes, he stands at 112.
Okay. So any other guy who has played just only one to score a century, just one match played and also scored a century?
There is one more person, sir. It's a very interesting thing. There's another person, Rodney Redmond from New Zealand.
Okay.
He did it. He also played just one match, made a 100, made a half century as well. Average in 80s against Pakistan in 1970s, and he again has a very high career average that way in 80s, and he just played one test match like that.
Okay, I'll just remove all restrictions here.
Yes.
Give me the highest test average.
Sir, there will be 112, and then I am not aware of anybody in between, but yes, then it's Donald Bradman at 99.94.
I'm not putting any restriction, and neither on the number nor on the tests played.
Yes.
Highest ever test average, if I ask.
Okay, sir, it is again a very important, interesting statistic. There is another Australian called Stuart Law, who just played one test innings in mid-90s somewhere. He scored a half century, 50 odd runs. I do not remember the exact number. So mathematically, he's got an infinite average because he never got out. I think it was 54 or 56 not out. So that is the person you can say he's got a higher average than Andrew Gantium or even Donald Bradman. He never got out. He just played one match because Steve O was injured in that match.
Okay. So I'll put the restrictions back here. So after Donald Bradman, who are the other highest current generation players?
So you're talking about people with a certain number of test matches?
20 plus.
So generally, if you look at all the statistics and everything, they take 20 test matches.
Yeah, 20 tests.
Sir, it's another Australian. His name is Adam Voges.
Okay.
So he's one of the two current cricketers who are above 60 in terms of averages. He along with Stephen Smith. So he's at number 2. He's at 61.9, around 61.87, I think. And he just played exactly 20 test matches. Another interesting record with him, he was the oldest test cricketer to have scored a century on debut.
Okay,
yes,
that's interesting. Who was the first one to do that?
Century on debut. Yeah. Sir, it happened in the first test match itself in 1877. It was an Australian called Charles Bannerman. Okay. He scored 165 against England in the very first test match.
Any other player, do you remember? Okay, not just one. Let me ask about both the innings. Is there anyone who has scored, on debut, century in both the innings?
There are two. There are two people who scored a century, 2 centuries on debut.
Okay.
One is Lawrence Rowe and another is Pakistani Yasir Hamid.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The first triple century. Virendra Sehwag has scored a century.
The first for India.
First for India. So yes, I want the first anywhere.
Sir, it's a guy called Andrew Sandham from England. and he scored the first triple century of Test cricket when he was almost 40 years, and that incidentally turned out to be his last Test match. So that's another interesting statistic about the person.
So tell me the names of Indian. I'll be taking you only through centuries. Okay, let's see if you can make a perfect 100 here. So how many Indian cricketers have scored a century in World Cup knockout stage?
So you'll have to give me a few seconds to think about it. So Saurav Ganguly did that in the semi-final of 2003 World Cup.
Okay.
Against Kenya. We played Minos in semi-final. He did that. We won the match comfortably. And after that, it happened in the last World Cup. Rohit Sharma scored 100 against Bangladesh in quarterfinals.
Okay.
And it was a contentious one because the Bangladeshis claimed he was out on a high full toss and all. So I remember that. So these are the two instances, I think. I hope I have not missed anything. These are two instances on which an Indian scored. Yes, sir, I'm sure about it.
This is the level of depth that we expect you if you say something is your hobby. Please try to understand. Dig it, guys. Dig it. आप बताओ मतलब will I as an interviewer after having asked so much, चलो यार 5 साल में किया इसने, I will forget it यार. I'll give him whatever is in my hand. I'll give him the best possible mark. He has shown he has that passion. Yeah, is that not?
Please understand it. There were many questions to which he asked less, and I came up with an interesting statistic. For example, he said, "Who's the first triple centurion of Test cricket?" If you call yourself a cricket fan, you have to know this. You have to know this. But the important part was that I also knew that it was the first triple century in Test cricket, and it was his last Test match, which is the interesting statistic. He made it a month before Don Bradman made his highest score of 334. These are the kind of things that you have to talk about if you're saying you're a cricket enthusiast. How else would I believe that you would work sincerely in my bank? Isn't it? Think about it. देखो मेरे पास नंबर नहीं है एकेडमिक्स में, मैं कहां से स्कोर करूंगा? अब आप ये उम्मीद कर रहे हो कि स्कोर लाइन पूछेंगे इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया का 2-1 नहीं पूछेंगे यार. सो एट एवरी पॉइंट आई थ्रू हैंड्स सेइंग सर और पूछो, गेट इनटू इट. दैट इज माय चांस टू मेक एन इम्पैक्ट. आई एम नॉट डिस्करेजिंग यू फ्रॉम पुटिंग क्रिकेट एज अ हॉबी. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू एग्जांपल्स. व्हेन thrown a question, make it interesting, give some additional statistic. I mean, ऐसा मत करो कि वो he's kind of indicating you to stop and not stopping, but yes, drop hints, tell them more, make it interesting. सब कुछ interesting होता गया. So he thought कि चलो कुछ और पूछते हैं. He seems to know a lot about it, isn't it? So that is an example.
This happens, guys. If you start answering, they will take you to a level. They will see where you end. Please try to understand and don't feel bad if in the end you could not answer. That means you are meeting their expectation. If you answer first 2-3 continuous questions, that means you're done well. After a level, if you falter, don't feel bad, don't feel embarrassed about it. But prepare hard. That is the message that we are trying to give you, right?
देखो, if you're going to say cricket because you played some cricket in your gully or in your school, no, better change it. If you are actually interested in cricket and you think you possess deep knowledge, then work on it. Work on cricket. Give it 10, 15, 20 hours. Come across some interesting records. You might not be able to answer a couple of questions, but then you'll give them some fantastic answers like that. Nothing that we asked here is, you can say, was outrageous. First century in Test cricket, first triple century in Test cricket. How is that outrageous? The Stuart Law data and all that was stuff that I came up with. What he asked was simple. जो उनके क्वेश्चन है वो उतने मुश्किल नहीं थे for a cricket enthusiast. I added stuff to it. Had I said 99.94 is the highest, that's a good answer. What is the problem? Everybody knows about it. Was a tough question. No, but I told him I know more. I know of 2 people who played just 1 Test match and made 100. How many of you knew it? All of you cricket enthusiasts. This is known to people who read about cricket. I read about cricket. I knew it. So if I'm preparing for an interview, I'll go there equipped with some such thing. If something like this comes, panel says, boss, you have not studied. मेहनत नहीं करी तुमने, कुछ करा है लाइफ में? सर यही है जो भी है. अच्छा, किसी चीज में अच्छा आंसर करोगे? ठीक है सर, पजल पूछ लीजिए. ठीक है सर, क्रिकेट के बारे में पूछ लीजिए. I'm taking my chance. I took my chance. I did well. Somebody else might not do well. I'm not saying that, but just understand the message.
Sleeping
in these interviews, I'll strongly, if it was for an IM interview, expect 100 questions. Here, they might be put off. Little conventional. Sleeping
can attract so many questions.
Trust me, I can ask you 100 questions. You know, if sleeping is your hobby, you should know inside out about sleeping. What is the REM sleep? You know, what is the dreaming phase? And hundreds of questions. What is sleep paralysis? You know, what are the diseases associated with sleep? I can, you know, make you sweat there. And this just comes impromptu. Nothing was, you know, this is off script. If I prepare for 10 minutes, I'll literally make you sweat. So don't get into those areas. Try to think about something genuine, which you are really interested. Jo Abhishek Tan bola, you know, one thing that you really want to do. Like someone is asking, what if I say singing, what 100 things, yeah. Which is your favorite singer? What you know? Do you know about the classical singing? How many kinds of gharanas are there? What is sur, antra, tal? I have absolutely no clue about music. Trust me. And these are 5 things that came to my mind. If anyone in the panel knows anything about music, so tell something which you are really genuinely interested in. Do research on it.